Hold on to your horses, you bastiches. Welcome to my review of loose collector Rob Liefield Bloodwulf, my second loose collector figure and second character from the Rob Liefield Extreme Universe in action figure form. So let's talk about him on TAKTAK Toys. Grab some figures from the display, set them up for a pose and play. Yakka D yak, here's TAKTAK. And first up, we get a look at the box art and figure in package, and you can see the name of the figure on the front of my package, as well as Rob Liefield's name and some nice artwork of Bloodwulf. The character of Bloodwulf is like a cross between Lobo and Deadpool, and there are lots of pop culture references in the comic, including nods to Star Wars. I tried reading issue 1 of Bloodwulf, but it was a little too 90s and alternative for my tastes. I couldn't really fully follow the story. But essentially, Bloodwulf is like a fourth wall breaking Lobo. And talking of comic art, we get some nice comic art of Bloodwulf on both sides of the box, and on each side the artwork is slightly different, which is a nice touch. The top of the box again has the character's name, and Rob Liefield, and the bottom a barcode and an international sticker, and information letting you know this is essentially an adult collectible. So let's have a closer look at my adult toy later on. But now to the back of my packaging. So, yes, let's head on over to the back of the package to complete a look at the packaging. So you get some really nice artwork on the back, reminiscent of 90s comic characters from Image, all big guns and pouches, and in this case, wild hair. We get a little biography on Bloodwulf. He's essentially an alien bounty hunter, and he's had all sorts of space-based adventures. Bloodwulf has interacted with Bloodstrike and Cabot in particular in the comics, so you can pit your Cabot action figure alongside your Bloodwulf figure in your collection if you want to. We also get a list of the accessories included with Bloodwulf, which we will be covering later in the video when the figure is unboxed.
Thanks, Mark. And we also get a look at Bloodwulf's powers and abilities on the back of the box as well. So that's a look at the packaging. Pretty nice. Does its job to display the figure nicely and give us some background on the character on the back of the box, and some nice artwork to add appeal and value. But it's no inbox collectors round these parts, so let's get this bad boy open.
And have you read any Bloodwulf comics? Have you got any loose collector action figures? If so, which ones? Let me know in the comments below. I definitely plan to get more, and I'm excited to see which characters Rob Liefield and Loose Collector work together on next in action figure form to go with Cabot and Bloodwulf. And if you're enjoying this review so far, I'll leave a link to my Cabot review in the comments below. Feel free to check that out. And here's a look at Bloodwulf out of the packaging. And these are the hands he comes with out of the packaging, and first impressions, he's very good. I actually prefer him to Cabot. I like the character and look of Cabot more, but objectively I do think Bloodwulf is the better figure. Immediately, one thing I like more about Bloodwulf is that the arms go out into a T-pose slightly better than they do on my copy of Cabot Stone, but we will get into all the articulation in due course. So let's have a look at Bloodwulf up close. And just like Cabot, the paint saps on this figure are lovely. He's another example of what it would be like if we had those Toy Biz legendary heroes figures with updated articulation. There's lovely shades of green and red in his uniform, and his pale white skin has some really nice shading as well.
And as you can see here, Bloodwulf has buckles and pouches for days, just like Cabot. But of course we would expect nothing less from a 90s Image Comics character.
So let's have a look at Bloodwulf from a few different angles so you can really get an overall view of the figure if this is one you're thinking about picking up. He's available on Big Bad Toy Store and also AliExpress. I picked my copy up from AliExpress, and I'll leave a link to both Big Bad Toy Store and AliExpress in the comments below. And on the back of the figure there's an insanely large knife sheath. And one thing I noticed, my copy of Bloodwulf stands a lot easier than my Cabot, I'm not sure why, and Bloodwulf can holster the large gun a lot easier than Cabot Stone can without being top heavy. That could just be my copy of Cabot that seems top heavy, with the large gun holstered on the pegs at the back. And just to let you know if Bloodwulf looks a bit wet, it's because I always give my figures a quick wash when I take them out of the package. So he's been washed and put on camera for review more or less straight away. You may not have noticed that, but I wanted to highlight it just in case.
Okay, so that's a 360 overview of the figure. As you can see, lots of vibrant paint apps, and we will get around to articulation, but he will really pop on your shelf. So if you decide to pick up Bloodwulf, where will you put him on your display? In with Marvel Legends, or a loose collector display shelf all on its own? Let me know in the comments below.
And this video is not for kids, and let's have a look at Bloodwulf with some of his guns. And just like Cabot, he comes with 2 large guns and a very large gun. But we are going to get on into the accessories shortly. So let me know your thoughts so far in the comments below. And as mentioned, here's a look at the alternative head sculpt for Bloodwulf, and it's even more of an expressive screaming head. Bloodwulf certainly does have some nice expressive heads for toy photography. And then we get a look at the various sets of hands that he comes with. Starting with the fisted hands that he came with in the box. One constructive criticism. The hands were very tight on the wrist pegs. I had to heat them up to swap them out. And I wanted to show you the different sets of hands on the figure, but they were so tight that I heated them up and popped on the trigger finger hands and left those on, so that I wouldn't have to repeatedly heat up the hands and pegs. So that's one criticism. The hands could do with fitting onto the figure more smoothly.
Next up we have the knife gripping hands, then splayed out hands. These ones to me look like Bloodwulf is getting ready to play the piano. I don't know why they just have that look to me. And it's nice that we get a selection of accessories of head and hands that aren't too overwhelming. Sometimes with import figures you can almost get too many head and hand options. And I don't know about you, but a lot of the extra heads and hands I get go into a bag and never get used again. It's a great option to have, but I find it's one I rarely use. Let me know in the comments below if you do a lot of toy photography and use the extra heads and hand options you get with your figures regularly.
And these are what I've affectionately labelled the piano hands. I feel like Bloodwulf is smashing out a D minor. In some classic music, Beethoven or something like that. I can't play the piano, can you tell? Okay. So we have had a look at the accessories Bloodwulf comes with. Let's move into the articulation. So as you can see here, the head can move around in a 360-degree motion. The arms go out nicely to a T-pose. I found the arm T-pose articulation to be smoother on my copy of Bloodwulf compared to Cabot. The vest on my copy of Cabot may have hindered a bit of his articulation at the arms. There are double-jointed elbows and wrists with 360-degree motion. As I mentioned before, one criticism was that the hands and wrists could do with being a little easier to change out of the package. But with a little heat, it's fine. The waist doesn't have a great deal of range. That could be because Bloodwulf's green vest limited the AB crunch, possibly. You can get a bit of waist swivel. So the waist does swivel in a 360-degree motion. As you can see here, Bloodwulf is breaking every bone in his body for your viewing pleasure in this review. But his alien anatomy can take it. So the legs go out a nice amount. He's on his way to doing the splits, just like Cabot. There's that interesting choice of thigh cut that Loose Collector is using on these figures. It sort of looks like a ball peg from certain angles, but it isn't. Then you've got double jointed knees, boot cuts, which were a little stiff despite me heating the figure up. So again, an area that can be improved upon. And ankle rockers. And like I say, my copy of Bloodwulf stands a lot better than my copy of Cabot for some reason. So there you go, that's all the articulation. This is a $70 to $80 figure, or £70 in the UK. So it's got a great range of motion akin to an import figure, as you would expect. You can get him into some great poses, as you'll see later in the video, and I have to say, objectively, I've found Bloodwulf a bit more poseable and playable than Cabot, despite being more excited for Cabot Stone out of the 2 figures, but that's just my opinion. They are both really good. And feel free to let me know your thoughts about this review in the comments below. And please do smash that like button, comment and subscribe. And consider becoming a channel member to unlock exclusive content. And let's do some comparisons. So as Bloodwulf is a 90s character that was created by Rob Liefeld, let's compare him to another 90s Rob Liefeld creation, Deadpool from Marvel Legends. And this is the 90s version of Deadpool on the Sunfire body, I believe. And so Bloodwulf is a mix of Deadpool and Lobo, and I don't have a Lobo in my collection anymore. Otherwise, I'd do that comparison. But here's how Marvel Legends next to a loose collector Rob Liefeld action figure. Let's go! And of course, Ryan Reynolds plays the movie version of Deadpool, and he also played the movie version of Green Lantern. And as everyone is talking about the Mattel takeover of the DC license from McFarlane, let's look at DC Multiverse Green Lantern next to Bloodwulf. A space bounty hunter next to a space cop. And so I'm hoping Mattel DC Multiverse is 6 inches to scale with Marvel Legends. But what are you hoping for? Let me know in the comments below. And back to Marvel Legends. Bloodwulf is an alien. And let's compare him to the alien that bonded with Peter Parker in Secret Wars and later became Venom, Black Suit Spider-Man. So this is on the retro card body, as you can see similarly like Deadpool. Bloodwulf towers over regular Marvel Legends, but he is a big alien, so it can definitely work if you do happen to fit him in with a Marvel Legends display. I personally have him in with my G.I. Joe classified figures. So let me know in the comments which figure do you prefer, Cabot or Bloodwulf. And for all the latest Marvel Legends news and reviews, check out Dan Who Reviews and also all these great YouTubers who cover action figure news and content. And these UK independent retailers where you can purchase and pre-order all the latest action figure goodness. And check out this awesome toy photography from Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse, and I'll put a link to his Instagram in the comments below. And you can of course check out episode 51 of Flicks and Figs for all the latest action figure news, including some news from New York Toy Fair 2025. And I'm planning to do another video covering some of the action figure news from NYCC 2025. So stay tuned for that. So let's jump back to the comparisons with other action figure lines. And Jim Lee created the iconic Tiger Stripe suit for Wolverine in the 90s. So let's compare CT Toys Tiger Stripe Wolverine to Bloodwulf. And I'd love a CT Toys Gambit at some point. The head sculpts from CT Toys are getting better and better. So essentially this can also give you an idea what a loose collector Rob Liefeld figure is like scaled next to your Mafex Wolverine collection. And then as Bloodwulf is an Image Comics character, let's compare him to another Image Comics character, Spawn from Todd McFarlane. And with the recent news regarding DC moving over to Mattel, people are wondering if McFarlane will now concentrate on Spawn and produce more figures from that IP. McFarlane has shown they will be making classic Mortal Kombat and TMNT 2012 figures. So they have a few properties coming up, but it's likely Spawn will get some more attention. And this is Spawn in his classic look. Although he does have the big boot, and I believe Greg Capullo added that later with his artwork, I have a few Spawn action figures such as Spawn, King Spider, Violator and more. Let me know if you have any in your collection.
And of course Bloodwulf comes from another planet. And for a comparison, in a galaxy far, far away, let's compare him to a Star Wars Black Series figure, namely a clone trooper. So here again you can see how he towers over your 6-inch Hasbro figures. Black Series do come up a bit shorter than Marvel Legends. But if you wanted to fit Bloodwulf into a Star Wars Black Series display, there you go.
Want some candy whilst you watch this review? Well, if you want Bloodwulf to face off against your Nika Predator collection, then this is what they look like next to one another for a size comparison. So if you're feeling like a sexual tyrannosaur, or you ain't got time to bleed, then you can do some toy photography having Bloodwulf battle your Nika Predator collection. And next up I do just that. So let's enjoy some toy photography with Bloodwulf. You'll see how easy I found him to pose. I'm not a great toy photographer at all. I'm a complete beginner, but he was so easy to pose around and take pics of. So enjoy these pics and I'll come back to my thoughts and opinions on my Bloodwulf action figure in just a moment. Wow, I felt just like D Amazing there in one of his videos, except he has talent for toy photography. He always does a few pics at the end of his video and goes quiet during that point. So that's my tribute in D-Amazing in this point of the review. And just for fun, here's a comparison of Bloodwulf with my G.I. Joe classified custom Big Boa. Big Boa is my all-time favourite G.I. Joe character. Shout out to Cloud Foxwell. I know she is a fan of Big Boa as well. I'm hoping to pop my Big Boa custom into all my reviews when I can. So, what are my overall thoughts on Bloodwulf? Well, he's an excellent figure, and in opinion he's objectively a slightly better figure than Cabot. I think the arms go out to a T pose a bit better on my Bloodwulf compared to Cabot, and he can stand whilst having the big gun on his back a lot better than Cabot, who I found a bit top heavy when he had his large weapon holstered on his back. Both figures can hold their big guns, but the weight of the guns will weigh down on their arms. 2 tickets to the guns show! So yes, I gave Cabot a 9 out of 10 in my review, but actually now having Bloodwulf in hand is say Cabot is an 8 out of 10, and in fact Bloodwulf is a 9 out of 10. I found I wanted to pick up and play with Bloodwulf a bit more than Cabot. Even thought I prefer the aesthetic of Cabot. Overall, by comparison, he's just a bit more 90s X-Force in my opinion. So it's really down to which character you like the look of more. There should be more characters to come such as Foreplay and others from the Bloodstrike team. I think a lot of collectors would love to see a Youngblood Loose Collector range of action figures. I think Rob Liefield has the license back for Youngblood, but I'm not totally sure. Both figures are excellent, and it's just really down to if you want to be all in to pick them up or pick and choose which characters you want. So there you go, that's my review of Loose Collector Bloodwulf. What did you think? Have you got any Loose Collector figures in your collection? Did you read 90s Image Comics? Do you read Image Comics now, and are there characters you'd like to see in action figure form? I have read Giga, and I'd love to see Giga done in action figure form. Of course, Mezco have done Junkyard Joe as part of their 112 line. I'm interested to see what other characters Loose Collector gives us. There's a Captain Canada or Captain Charnock on the way that looks pretty good. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and until next time, enjoy those flicks and figs.